Hey guys, what is up? I've got a game for you. If you couldn't tell, this is a actual tournament game. This is in the top 16 of Oklahoma States. I am on the right playing my Mewtwo Celebi Tornadus deck that I've kind of just been playing around with in most of my games. And on the left is my good friend Andrew Parmely. He's part of Team Legacy. They're a pretty popular team in Oklahoma. They've got some really good players, and I end up qualifying here. It's the number 3 seed. That makes him the 13 seed, I believe. He ends up winning the coin flip. He's playing Zeals, and he gets the Thunderous lead, and I believe he hits the turn 1 collector. We can't see his entire screen, but we're going to do our best as we can to narrate. So he's just going to grab out some more Dynamos. Goes to grab the catcher, but obviously it's not a basic. And there's a Zekrom, and should see maybe another Dynamo, 2 Zekrom. So that's kind of interesting that he doesn't grab more Dynamo. Definitely kind of question that a little bit, only in that, you know, Dynamos are pretty easy to catch up and kill. He's going to attach for turn. He only benched 1 Zekrom, which is interesting to note. He Eviolites, and he's going to charge here. Being able to charge with Thunderous puts a lot of pressure on me, because if I don't hit some basics on my turn, I'm going to be donked turn 2. So a little nervous about that. So I go to cut, and we'll see. I play a Sky Arrow Bridge, just so I can free retreat and all that jazz. I want to get that out as soon as possible. Really, the only thing he doesn't have the only thing he has without free retreat is his Thunderous, which is already active. I go to play the Pokegear, and I grab the Professor Oak's new theory. He's just going to tap, and I end up playing it actually off the Pokegear. So I guess my hand is pretty bad. I really need to hit a basic or a dual ball, otherwise game 1 could be over very quickly. And that has happened to me a couple of times, not necessarily in tournaments, but it is one way to end a game. And it's one of the problems with running dual ball on one side. If I whiff on my dual balls, I can lose instantly. But on the other hand, if I don't hit or if I don't hit the collector and I have to play another draw supporter, then, you know, those collectors are dead weight. So I did see the Celebi in my hand. I also have the Mewtwo DCE, an Eviolite, and I actually just elect to, I don't know why I don't drop the Celebi, but I elect to X-Ball for 60 due to Eviolite. And I would have liked to have seen the catcher, but, you know, you can't always get those kinds of things. He's going to attach manually, and I'm not exactly sure what he's searching for. Probably a level ball. Again, you know, I didn't have the best ability to record this match, unfortunately. So yeah, that's probably the level ball for the Eel, which at this point isn't too surprising. He still has 1 Dynamo that I could try and snipe, but I probably have to take care of Thunderous now that I've already thrown some damage on it. And I believe that means that he's playing an N, because we're both shuffling our decks. Probably favorable for me, if anything, and he's really just playing it for himself. But we're going to see us both cut here. Now, the thing I have to be afraid of is once he gets that damage on me from the Disaster Volt on my Mewtwo, or if he can catch her, he'll take a prize. But if he gets damage on my Mewtwo, it's pretty much super easy for him to KO it with his own Mewtwo, no problem. And that's definitely, it promotes an uneven exchange where I'm only taking a single prize and he's taking different prizes, or 2 prizes at the same time for KOs. So he drops his own Mewtwo, which alerts me that I'm probably going to be KO'd in one way or another. He also has free retreat, but he did use his turn attachment. So we're going to see him grab a Shaman. And, ooh, that's bad for me. That's a really, really nice play by him, being able to grab this Shaman. He also Dynamotors, so then he can drop Shaman, basically move his energy, and he'll be able to X-Ball me for a KO, no problem. I have 2 energy on me, so he needs 3 to KO me back. And now he's starting the Mewtwo for Mewtwo trade. This is probably even better than any other outcome he could have by using Celebration Wind. And I think he plays a Pokegear here. He's already played a supporter, so he can't play an N or anything. Grabs a Pont off of it. Confirms it's a Pokegear. And he's going to X-Ball for KO and 2 prizes. So that's going to hurt. I only have 1 benched Pokemon. And I'm just checking to see if he laid down the correct number of prizes. It looked kind of weird. And I want to be able to tell because that's important. I top deck Virizion there. He's not going to help me too much. I'm going to bench him anyways just because he can double draw if I really need to, although it's rather unfortunate if I have to. And I play my own Pokegear. I should have a pretty good shot at a supporter, especially since he ended me to 6 cards, so I should have maybe drawn something, or I hit the Copycat. And I just decided to look over my hand before I pick what I want to take here. Not exactly sure myself what the best play is. It grabbed an N. Kind of surprising. Not necessarily the best choice depending on his Copycat hand. He probably got 6, and he got 6 from his N. He netted a few prizes, so he probably had a hand of around 6 or 7. But I guess putting him to a 4-card hand was really important for me at the time. And I'm just going to play that in. I forgot to shuffle my hand in, I guess, initially. I have a Force Breath of Grass Energy to my Virizion, so I kind of am relying on the Mewtwo DCE if I want to revenge Mewtwo KO. The other interesting thing to note, and I do know this at the time, is that Andrew is actually only running 1 Mewtwo this week. He couldn't get a second one to lend out, so it actually makes it really interesting and really impressive that he was able to, take a list that, he knew was not optimal because he's missing the second Mewtwo, and really take it to top 16 here. It's really impressive and really got to give him props for that. It also kind of had a psychological effect for me that was kind of weird because I didn't really see the Mewtwo War as beneficial anymore because I knew I couldn't bait him into these kind of Mewtwo Wars. I'm going to catch her at the eel here, and I'm just double drawing because I don't have anything that can really help me right now. It is nice for me, though, if I can catch her his Mewtwo back out at some point. It's really hard for him to move the energy off of it again, so it's pretty much a 2-prize KO for me whenever I want it, as long as I have DCE Mewtwo or 2 energy Mewtwo and a catcher. So I'm hoping he can't retreat the eel. It's got that 2 retreat cost. It isn't affected by Sky Arrow Bridge because it's not a basic. Not exactly sure what he played there. Some kind of draw supporter, I guess. And again, sorry, I didn't know at the time that this angle wasn't the best. It was kind of rushed to make sure it was recorded, and it wasn't necessarily the best space. So we'll see what he does here. I think he might have the DCE or switch, if I recall correctly. Yep, there's the DCE. You can see it in the corner. So he instantly attaches that and retreats. And he's a little unsure of who to go to. And he decides to go to Mewtwo. Mewtwo will be able to X-Ball me for 80 damage. So I know at most I only have 1 more double draw before I'm going to get KO'd. I decide to drop Grass Energy. I catch her a Tynamo. And it's kind of weird that I don't... I dual ball here too. Except I roll the non-states dice, so you have to roll states dice for these. They're official randomizers. And we're just resetting kind of where damage counters and official dice are. I do hit at least 1 heads on this dual ball. And my guess would be I grab Mewtwo, but I don't see it being a good idea to bench him when my opponent has 3 energy. I really hope that's me just setting him aside. It does look like he's on the bench, though. That's definitely a risky play, although my opponent does have to drop 2 more energy to be able to one-shot me, or 1 in an EV, or 1 in a plus power. Either way, I don't like that play. Oh, okay, so I do put it to my hand. And I'm going to Leaf Wallop for KO. And that'll do 40 damage. He's just going to be able to revenge me with Mewtwo. And so that's pretty much inevitable. We'll see what he does now. He's in an interesting position where his bench is pretty full. He's got 2 Zekroms on the bench, Thundurus, and then a Shaman. So he only has room for 1 Eel, or 1 more Pokemon at a time based on what I knock out. Not giving him a lot of flexibility. I know he'll probably only have 1 Eel up for the whole game. So his acceleration is kind of slowed, and I don't really have to worry about Zekrom EX because it's just not, he's just not in a situation where he'll be able to really utilize it. Now it looks like he ended me again. I'm not going to be that detrimental as, I'm getting 5 cards, he's getting 4. And I think we're seeing a gear here. Okay, so he's going to grab the collector off the gear. Again, he won't be able to play it this turn because I believe he already ended. But we should see him be able to X-Ball for KO. So I promote a Mewtwo. We see I top deck a Grass Energy, which is definitely a good thing. I don't lay down my own Mewtwo. Oh, right, he ended me. Okay, so I lost a Mewtwo that I didn't bench. That's right. Otherwise, I would have said if I had Grass and Mewtwo, there's no reason not to lay down. So now I'm kind of having to cross my fingers that I have the Mewtwo and can tie this prize race back up. Believe he's taken 3 prizes. Yeah, he KO'd my Mewtwo too, and he's KO'd my Virizion. And I think I hit the dual ball. Yep, there it is. And there's at least 1 heads. I can see the 1 is a 4, and very relieved by that. I grab 1 Mewtwo, and it looks like I hit double heads there, so it'll definitely help me out. I think that's my Gigas. It looks like a Regigigas. I know there's a little bit of glare with these sleeves. I might start playing an Ultra Pros simply because those don't really have glare issues, and I know I really don't like them as much, but if you can avoid the glare. I bench both Pokemon, which I don't necessarily like, but I do at least attach to Gigas, which makes me think I probably have a second DCE in case he catches it up. And I'm just going to be able to X-Ball for KO here, and there's 2 more prizes for me. He's going to promote a Shaman. It has free retreat, and it lets him Dynamotor to whatever he needs to. So really both of us in this situation are at 3 prizes left, and it means we need to KO an EX and a regular Pokemon or 3 regular Pokemon, which will take a lot more time. Not sure what he'll lay down. He might try and get back his Mewtwo. I can't tell what it is that he benches, but he seems to attach and Dynamotor. He seems to attach it and Dynamotor to the Thundurus. Thought I had his discard pile in sight when I originally recorded this. That's kind of frustrating. And I think that might have been a Juniper that he just played. Alright, so he's super rotting now, which is definitely bad for me. We see a 1-1 Eel line and a Mewtwo going back in. He's already used up his energy attachments for this turn, though, so I don't have to really worry about the Revenge Mewtwo this turn. But what he could do and probably wants to do now is probably take an easy prize, like something like the Celebi, maybe. And then next turn, if I go back to using Mewtwo, he can try and catch her, or he can try and X-Ball that for game. So really the fact that I have an EX down on the field and he doesn't, and he gets to pick when he benches his EX, kind of puts me at the disadvantage. He's going to retreat into Thundurus, and he doesn't have the catcher, so he has to Disaster Volt my Mewtwo. Still an okay play in that he's really probably going to be able to KO it next turn. but not really the play he probably wanted. The catcher for Selby would have been really nice there, and I'm sure if he had it, he would have done it. It would have really put me behind the 8 ball in this game too. But at this point, I do have, okay, attached to Gigas, and I'm able to copycat what looks like a good number of cards. I know I had some kind of mixed results with copycat. Sometimes I was copycatting for as few as 3, but I think once in Swiss I hit one for 8 or 9. So, you know, it's kind of a mixed bag there, especially in the late game when you have your opponent usually having low hands to do stuff like ends and just playing out all your junk arms and all that jazz. So copycat has had mixed results for me. But he taps me, I guess, for the cut. And I'm going to draw up. And I benched the second Mewtwo, which I don't agree with necessarily when I did that. It just doesn't seem that beneficial. I guess if he X-balls me at this point, then I can X-ball him back. So maybe actually it is a good play. He Dynamotors to that thing on the far left. I'm not entirely sure what it is. I'm guessing Zekrom EX. That makes the most sense to me. Kind of looks like the full art one. But pretty much anything on his side of the field can knock me out. He's going to play what I believe is a collector. Okay. Maybe a level bulk because he only grabs a Dynamo. But a Dynamo hits the field, and he's promoting what is the Zekrom EX, and he's gonna strong volt me for the KO. So now he is down to 1 prize. I'm gonna promote my Selby. I top deck another Selby. Kind of nice that you can see my draws, but I'm not sure if that means I'm tipping them off to Andrew. So at this point, I'm kind of just trying to figure out, you know, what I have energy-wise, what I can do. If I can hit I drop the DCE on Gigas, which is nice, knowing that Mewtwo is probably the more frail Pokemon to play. I'm going to Junk Arm 2, and I think this is where I'm going to grab the Eviolite. Oh, nope. I grab a Catcher, and I guess at this point I realize that it's going to be really hard to knock out his Zekrom EX, and it's probably a better idea to go for small Pokemon. He's, however, going to be able to attach another DCE, and really I should have seen it as futile if he has the Catcher. I don't think he's played too many. I think that's a plus power or something. Junk Arm for another plus power. And oh, I see what's going to happen. Okay, so I see the Catcher, so he's already won. He can either triple plus power me if he has another Junk Arm. I think he does. And he'll be able to strong volt me for the last prize. So that'll be game 1. Goes to Andrew in a really close one. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll catch you guys in the next game.